Ну что, как ты там? Сегодня я расскажу, как мы ездили в отпуск всей семьей на Гавайи, какие места посетили, какая гостиница у нас была, какую машину арендовали. В общем, смотрите, видео получилось сумбурным, но очень красивым. Приехали мы, короче, в такую гостиницу, сейчас все покажу. Так, как тут? Так, такой входик. Такое лобби. Здесь столовочка. Зона ожидания. Здесь ресепшн. Прилетели. Сейчас вам проведу рум-турчик. Я покажу вам басик, как здесь все выглядит. Так, а как переключиться? Не переключиться здесь, да? Какой видосик. Да. С видом на океан, с пластика прямо. Такая вот водичка. Покажу видончик. Мы живем на последнем этаже. Таким вот видочком на океан. Водичка, огонь. Сидим вот так вот, отдыхаем. С таким видончиком, бам, с закатиком вообще. Басик внизу. Закатик.
One week vacation is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go to your no.
Oh no, no.
Они все стоят очень круто. Потому что им надо попасть.
Pero.
A ver, chica. Voy. Voy.
Put on one thing.
Okay.
Cause my legs don't work. Yeah. You know?
Probably not at first. Like it, but I really like it. See, so religion everyone. Because they're both really attached, like Copenhagen, and they just air incredibly well.
Yeah.
We have busted, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
I'm so excited. Ay, nang. Ngayon sa kan.
So what would they do? Right. Reckon that's exact. There you go. And then you put that for the Waikiki place.
Yeah, look, the bitch do it here. They keep getting better and better.
Короче, не видно ни хера черепаху. Большая, здоровая. Yeah. Вот такие тут видончики. Короче, на Гавайях сейчас арендовали тачку. Вот такую. Бам! Форд Мустанг. Еще с такими видончиками классно. Вообще. Сейчас покажу, как вверх откидывается. Опа. Так. Оба. Хоба. Все. Красота. А? Сейчас пойдем на экскурсию, где снимался фильм «Парк юрского периода». Ну и много разных людей.
Alright, everybody, check, check, check. If you can hear me back there, repeat after me. Okay, well done, everybody. Great job, my little chickens. Okay, let's go ahead and get our tour officially started with a big aloha. Aloha. Ooh, I think we can do a little better than that. Let's try again. Aloha. Aloha. That sounds great. Well done, everyone. Alright, guys, good afternoon, aloha, and welcome to your Foodie Site Garage Tour. My name is Liloa. Can you guys say Liloa? Liloa. That is the most important Hawaiian word I'm going to teach you today is my name, okay? So try your best to remember if you can. If Liloa is a little hard to remember or to pronounce, I always told my guests or tell my guests that they can call me Lilo. Like Lilo is a little easier of a nickname. But also a very fitting nickname because I actually have a cat who lives there. So, true story, he's really cute and really naughty, so that's why he got his name. So if you forget my name, just think of that. That can help you guys to remember. And I will be your guide and your driver taking care of you on this tour today. We are going to be spending about an hour and a half together. We're going to head into the northern side of our property, which is the beautiful Ka'awa Valley. And this tour is one of the best tours that you can go on if you haven't been here to Koloa at all before, because you get to learn a little bit of everything, or get over a little bit of everything. Of course, we're going to check out our movie sites, but we also get to learn about the ranch. So we're going to talk about some of our history, our story, how things all started, came about here, some of the other operations that we're doing here on the property besides this tour. And of course, we have great opportunities for photos. Plus, we're going to be making 2 stops on our tour. Our first stop of the tour will be in another maybe 5 to 7 minutes up the road. But we will see our very first film location straight ahead here for Jurassic World. Now, as you can tell, we have this rusty gate here. This is from the 2015 Jurassic World film. This scene stars the 2 brothers in the movie, the 2 boys, Zach and Gray. They actually drive through this with a Jurassic Park Jeep. And this is after they escape the Indominus Rex, they go through the jungle, they find the old Jurassic Park remains, and they're able to get one of the Jeeps there restarted to take themselves back to the main park on the island. Now, as we approach this, you'll see we have our 2 dinosaurs guarding the entrance. And at one point, when Zach and Gray are driving down this road to get back to the park, this is when they see the gate and they just kind of slam through the gate doors. So it was a pretty quick scene, but we got lucky enough to keep this movie set. Like I said, we have our little dinosaurs here guarding the entrance, and They've been looking pretty hungry all day, so I think someone forgot to feed them this morning. So make sure as we drive through, no sudden movement, and try to keep your hands inside so you don't missing any fingers, okay guys? Alright, the dinosaur, nice dinosaur. Nothing to see here. Almost made it through. Oh my gosh, you guys all hang on. I told you they're hungry today. I don't know. Somebody forgot to feed them this morning. If you see any other dinosaurs, you let me know so you can get out of here as quick as possible. Now on this tour, we are going to talk a little bit about the Jurassic movie. However, we do have a Jurassic Adventure tour that focuses on all the Jurassic movies that was mentioned on the property. We'll just touch on it a little bit today. Because necessarily the same type of tour. But we do have to give credit where credit's due because, of course, if it wasn't for Steven Spielberg, if it wasn't for Steven Spielberg, then we wouldn't have been featured in Jurassic Park, and Polo Ranch wouldn't have become what it is today. We have to thank him for featuring us in that movie. We got our big break in Hollywood. We eventually became a highly sought after film destination, which led to us being a highly sought after tour destination. And that's because we have so many other movie sites that are serving the property, and we're able to develop our tours to not only share with our guests or our visitors the movie sites, but also our history as well too. So our first stop of the tour is going to be one of our historic sites that we have here on the property, which is an old World War II bunker known as Battery Cooper. Now we have a couple of these little pillbox bunker-like structures, and they were used for different things like storing ammunition, gun emplacements, communications bunkers, bomb shelters. But these are just the main remnants of what the military has built here, and being reminders of the role that was played in World War II. A Pulo was used as a secondary military base on this side of the island. There's another base out here known as the Kaneohe Marine Corps base, but that base was attacked 6 years prior to Pearl Harbor. So that's why the military felt it was necessary to build another base out on this side of the island, where we are here at Pulo Ranch. There was a barracks here for the soldiers, and then also an airfield and an airstrip up in the front parts of the property, front pastures. So when we go to our first stop, you actually will get a chance to see a little bit of our World War II history and somewhat of the layout of the property during the time that the military was here on the ranch. So our site that we're going to go to is Battery Cooper. Now this bunker isn't like a tiny one you saw. It's actually built into our mountain, so it's kind of like a tunnel. I just like to give everyone a heads up if you get claustrophobic or you know like the idea of tunnels. You guys don't have to go in. But this not only highlights our World War II history, it also highlights our movies and productions that come here with us, other TV shows and things like that. And it's like our movie museum in a sense. So there's a lot of really cool displays that we have in here, or have in the bunker. And the displays would include, you know, different posters of the different productions and what these different film locations we have around the property would have looked like during the actual filming of these movies. Plus, we have a lot of cool movie props and memorabilia that have been donated to us over the years here at the ranch. So, a lot of great displays for you guys to enjoy, and it's a really great introduction to our tour overall because you get to see some of the different film locations in its raw form when it was actually being filmed. So, pretty neat. So, when we go there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys to the main entrance. We only have about 15 minutes to spend here. So I'm going to drop you guys off at the main entrance, and I'll let you go ahead and walk straight in. And you'll be able to kind of learn a little bit more, or check out some of the displays that we have here. We're going to try to shoot to leave about 2:15. So coming up shortly on the left side is where we have this main entrance here. Now at the main entrance, you'll notice when you walk in, this is actually where one of the 2 rapid fire guns were located. So where all these guests are standing in that circle there, there is one of 2 rapid fire guns at either entrance, and these were artillery guns that could shoot 50 miles out into the ocean, 4 rounds per minute, and it took 6 men inside the gun to actually operate them. But luckily there were no further attacks on the island, so of course they didn't need to use those guns. But this is the main entrance right over here, and this is where you guys are going to go ahead and walk in. Sorry guys. We're going to go ahead and pull right over here, and then I'm going to let you guys out, and you guys can go ahead and walk straight inside. I'm gonna move the truck. You see this bus right in front of us? So right in front of the bus, that is where the exit is. And that's where you guys will be able to come out of the bunker. And then when you come out the exit, you're welcome to go ahead and walk across the street to take pictures. But right now, when I let you off of the truck, please do me a big favor and just head straight into the entrance. You guys can go ahead and walk straight in.
Aquí estaba la entrada. Aquí estaba la entrada. Y dije, puta, ¿qué fue? Ella hizo toda la película. Ella gritando para en este motor. Ahí está el rock, tía, de la roca. Para el el rock. Ahí está. Ajá. Dice la verdad que estaba un señor ahí y está verde. Ah, Bruce Willis, ahí está. El de la guerra es con la pistola. Oh, ella.
Как выглядят здесь горы? Что видел этот фильм?
Tropic Thunder, that's what I was doing.
I feel like something
Годзилла. Тоже здесь снимается. Кинг-Конг. Тоже здесь снимается. Кинг-Конг остался. Все фильмы, которые здесь снимались в Гавайях. That's what that property is.
Вот это W, это Q, это S, это...
Miley cheese.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed our stop at the bunker. I know there is so much to see inside and outside of the bunker. Probably could spend a lot of time there, but we definitely have much more up in store ahead of us throughout the rest of our tour. Enjoy as well too, and a lot of beautiful cities and great buildings to see along the way. So we're currently heading into Kava Valley, which is the northern side of the property. It's also the largest part of the property altogether. And this is where we have a lot of our tours and activities take place. As you can tell, it is quite busy out here, so we have a lot of the UTVs. We also have trucks that host different tours. We have buses. We even have our zip lining taking place out here as well too. Okay. So yeah, we have all different kinds of activities happening out here. Plus, this is where we do a lot of our farming and agriculture. So we're going to take a little brief into our agriculture tour. I'm going to highlight some of the different things that we're doing in terms of our farming. Now, this is really important to us here at Koko because this is actually one excellent way that we're able to give back to our community by providing a fresh local food source and not just really grocery shopping. This is also a great way we can bring honor to those that came before us, our Polynesian ancestors, by studying their methods of farming and trying to practice some of those same methods, or practice those methods in similar fashion, or even just trying our best to, did you guys see that big fish back there, by the way? I saw some of you point out. I was like, oh, that's a big fish. We have like grass carp and stuff like that in here, but we also have like little freshwater turtles. You can see them. They'll poke their little heads out. So this site is a really great site for us. A lot to learn from it because this is one method that our Polynesian ancestors would have used for farming, is like planting their crops close to freshwater sources, much like these ones. So these are freshwater ponds that are fed from natural springs that come up from underground. So it's an ideal place to grow some of our crops. We have taro, potato, banana, coconut, breadfruit, sugarcane, all growing out here, and they thrive really well because of the source of the fresh water. Plus the wildlife is doing quite well over here as well. So it's one way that we can just use what we naturally have, and we don't have to kind of divert water to any of our farming sites. And then our native Hawaiian birds are actually doing really well out here. So there's a few of them in that little bush over there to the left. Those little black birds, they have red faces on them. Those are known as the alai ula, the type of mud hen or moorhen. So they're thriving totally out here. And we also have a film location to the right side of us, just beyond that tree there. You'll see a bunch of rocks and sticks. Those are all fake rocks and sticks made out of styrofoam. And that's where they film the scene for Kong Skull Island featuring Samuel L. Jackson, his character Colonel Patrick, meets his end over there after he tries tries to kill Kong with fire and explosions, and Kong ends up waking up after being knocked out for a little bit, and he gets into an end, smashing his flat like a pad right over there. So those are all fake props, by the way, but one of our film locations that are on the property from that movie. We also have this film location here for the movie Midway. And you can see Aaron Eckhart, who stars as Colonel Doolittle in this movie. He's actually being held hostage in a little village in China after he crash lands there, after going on a suicide mission. So they created the village over here, generally in this area to our left. And this is where they filmed this movie. They find out that he's a U.S. soldier, or an American soldier. So they end up working together with him to protect some of the village. What is the we also have these small livestock here. So there are only 2 film locations back here, but some of our small livestock, including our sheep. We got real treats in here because you can see under the shaded covering, there's some of our babies, our lambs in there. So these guys were born probably within anywhere between the past 2 weeks or so. So very cute. They're still playing around. You see them playing around with each other. How cute. Oh, we have Dorper sheep. That's the breed of sheep that we have out here. They originated from South Africa, and they're a hybrid breed that was bred in a certain way in order to kind of adapt to the warm climate. So they don't actually have to, you don't have to actually shear their wool. They shed it all on their own. So after a certain length of their wool grows, they'll just naturally fall off the body. So it makes it really easy for us to take care of, very low maintenance and low. Not to mention, they're also kind of like a fast producer. So at specific breed, they're about 8 to 9 months, so it's about 9 pounds. So it's full-grown size, full-grown weight. So eventually we will be using them as food source. Right now it's very limited. We do some aquaculture as well too. So we're going to be raising tilapia in these tanks. So on the left tanks, we're going to be raising golden tilapia, and then in the right tanks, we're going to be raising regular tilapia. And then we do aquaculture in different parts of the property. We raise shrimp, oysters, and shrimp prawns. So we don't raise any of those animals in these ponds, however. These are leased by local farmers. So he raises his own animals, Malaysian prawns, Chinese catfish, and tilapia. Oh, look at that turtle just sticking out right over there. A lot of times, every time I point out the turtles, they know I'm talking about them. See, look, swam away. Oh no, I've been spotted. He's down, swimming away, but it happens all the time. Up above us, I want to put your attention to some of the crops in the trees. You may notice some green fruit hanging up in the trees. These are breadfruit trees, also referred to as ulu in Hawaii. I like to call them sweet potatoes because pretty much any way you prepare potatoes, you can prepare breadfruit. So we actually have breadfruit or ulu chips, like potato chips, sold in our Kualoa Growers Market. We have some fruits out here, papayas to the right, bananas to the left, some more bananas to the right. And we're able to grow these fruits all year long, so they're not easy to pick. We also have corn over here. We just started this about a month and a half ago. The corn has been doing quite well, very impressive. These are just some different things that we kind of try out throughout the year. We also have our peepees over here. This is our pig farm. So we actually adopted a South Korean style pig farming, which involves using a living floor. So in each one of the pig pens, you guys will notice, or will not notice, but there are microorganisms that eat away at the waste of the pigs. So it creates a cleaner environment for them to live in. They get to lie down on natural matter. It cuts down on flies, and if you can tell by now, it cuts down on the smell as well too. So they don't smell it. We have over to our left some of our passion fruit growing on the vines in the country. And then up ahead on the right, we got our lovely ladies that make chickens. And then to the left, we have some of our turkeys. These guys are the lone survivors of last Thanksgiving. So that sounds a little sad, a little morbid, but we were able to offer fresh, locally raised turkey to our community last year for the first time ever. Coming to the ranch. It's pretty special. And then these trees that we've been driving by over to the left of us, you may see some of the little pods hanging in the tree. These are cacao trees. So we actually have a few thousand cacao trees around the property. We're producing enough to have our own brand of Kualoa Growers chocolate. So currently we have milk chocolate bars and dark chocolate bars that we sell in the market. And sometimes we have coffee. But this is our shade house. So we have a number of different things going on here. But these are some of the things that we do. What I like to say behind the scenes or back. So I would like to officially welcome you all to what we know as front and center stage. It's beautiful Oahu Valley. Also very interiorly dramatic valley. So I gotta use the zoom theme music cued. Alright, so these are the views that drew Steven Spielberg to work with us in the first place, filming part of Jurassic Park here. And then of course many other productions followed after that. And we grew in popularity in large ways. So we're able to host other movies, TV shows, commercials, music videos, and even documentaries. So the statue you see coming up here is from a National Geographic documentary called Walking with Giants, where they came out here to test out the theories on how the people of Rockaway moved their massive moai statues that they're very well known for. Now this guy is pretty small in comparison to the statues on the island. Just imagine them about 5 times bigger than this statue here. So it's still one of the mysteries of the world, but it's also chalked up to ancient technology, right? Now we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna give you guys a little break from listening to me so you guys can enjoy the music paired with me out here as we drive to our one and only Jurassic Park. Here to our left, you'll see our one and only Jurassic Park location on the top. Now, the reason why it's the one and only is because most of the outdoor scenes for Jurassic Park were filmed on the island of Hawaii. But about 3 weeks into the filming of their production back in '92, the island got hit with a Category 5 hurricane that caused so much damage that they were just unable to finish the movie there. So, Steven Spielberg, he finished up his one last scene here at the ranch. They filmed with us for maybe about 2 to 3 days, and that was it. So the scene started on the right side of us, up at the top of the hill there above the dirt patch, where Dr. Grant, Timmy, and Lexi, the 2 Hammond grandchildren, make their way to the top, and they see a flock of gallimimus heading towards them. So they make a run for it to take cover, and they actually end up down here to our left, where there was a huge tree that was placed right in the exact same spot as this tree. We call this tree the stump double because it's not the exact same one, but it's in the same spot. So this is where they hide so they don't get trampled by the gallimimus, and then eventually they're behind this tree, and then they're watching the T-Rex barreling through the tree line as one of those gallimimus dinosaurs that was snapped. So this movie, or this scene I should say, only took maybe about a minute and a half to shoot, but that was more than enough that we needed to talk to. We were able to host a movie film here. Everyone of Jurassic Park in 1993, all the way up to today. And that doesn't even include the other productions that have filmed it. For example, Lost, one of the TV series that we are both well known for. Up at the top of the hill here is where Hurley built his little 2-hole golf course, season 1, episode 9. So he was played by Jorge Garcia. This is one of many lost film locations that we have around the property. And if you are big fans, normally I say just take lots of pictures of the scenery because you'll be able to match up a lot of what you see today with the series, the whole series. Like big watch, right? But the next home location we're going to spot is going to be split up into 2. So my friends on the right side of the truck will see it first, and then my friends on the left will see it after, next to that sign up ahead. But if you take a look out to the right of the truck, for those of you that are on the right, just take a look. You'll see what looks like a big dried up mud pit This is actually, if you look closely, you'll see shapes of toes. So this indicates this is a footprint from the largest monster or kaiju to ever set foot on the ranch. That is Godzilla, but the 1998 American Godzilla. Now coming up on our left, my friends, out to the left side of the truck, you guys can take a peek out your side and you'll see our Godzilla sign and also this footprint here. Now this is the footprint that Matthew Broderick walks into when he plays a scientist in this movie, and he goes to the little village in Panama where he walks into the footprint, but he doesn't realize he's even standing in a footprint because these originally were about 4 to 6 feet deep, but we had to fill them up to this shallow depth because shortly after filming we found out that our cattle do not have night vision, so unfortunately they couldn't see the footprint. So poor guys, we had to figure out how to get them out every single day. So to keep them safe, we made them into shallow footprints. You can actually see the shape of them much clearer on satellite imaging nowadays. So check out Google Earth, you may spot those footprints. Here to our left, we have a full location for Mike and Kane's wedding dates. This is starring Zac Efron, Adam Devine, Anna Kendrick, and Aubrey Plaza. This is where they do the ATV jump scene. So the 2 boys are brothers in the movie, and the 2 girls are their dates to their sister's wedding in Hawaii. Now the day before the wedding, they come to Kolo to do ATV rides, and Adam Devine's character, he launches that hill trying to show off, and his sister, instead of moving out of the way, she stood right underneath him, and that takes them. It was a disaster. The movie is super funny. Check it out if you guys get a chance. But for my parents out there, heads up, if you haven't watched it before, you definitely don't want to watch it with the kids. You're gonna have a lot of questions you don't want to answer. So to avoid any awkward conversation, you probably want to save it for kids. But it is a pretty funny movie, and there are a few other scenes they filmed in different parts of our property. Now, Yumi and Dupree also filmed out here with us, starring Kate Hudson, Matt Dillon, and Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson plays Dupree in this movie, and they did some other scenes again in different parts of the ranch, but right here they used this in the opening credits. So Dupree, he's trying to get to his friend's wedding in the islands, and he ends up landing on the wrong island. So he comes here, or he gets a little charter plane to get to the correct island. So this road they use as a landing strip when the charter plane arrives. But this road is much more popular for its use in the movie 51st Between. So I hope I have some fans back there. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Starring Adam Sandler as Henry, Drew Barrymore as Lucy, and Rob Schneider as Henry's friend Ula. To our left here, you'll see a sign with Henry and Lucy on there. But this road is actually the same road Lucy would drive home on after her breakfast every day at the Hukila Cafe. And so Henry would get creative and think of ideas on how he can get her to stop and talk to him. So one day he decides to bring his little friend Willie, the little penguin, dressed up in a cute aloha shirt, and he put him in the middle of the road hoping Lucy would see him. But instead, she dropped her CD, and as she leaned over to pick them up, she drove straight over Willie's penguin. Now, Willie was fine. He may have lost a couple feathers off the top, but ultimately there were no penguins harmed in the making of the first scene. So the next movie is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Coming up over here on our right side. This scene stars Karen Gillan as she activates her dance fighting skills for the very first time in the song Baby I Love Your Way by Mickey Mouse. And then she's beating up these 2 guards, distracting them from the rest of her crew to get the helicopter out of that building behind her in the photo. Now they built that movie up above us, and the coconut trees are there. There's a big open grassy field in that area where they built the movie set. But at the time, that was actually one of our most popular wedding venues. So we couldn't let them leave it there, so they actually broke it out shortly after filming it finished. So this next movie, Pearl Harbor, we had a few scenes filmed all around the property, but the one scene they filmed here was done up at the top of the hill on our right side, where there was a little Boy Scout standing next to their pitch tent as they watched the Japanese fighter plane fly from the back of the valley out to the ocean. So from the mountains in front of us out to the ocean behind us, and we would have had these mountains to our left as the backdrop of that scene. And then again, another World War II movie, because we've had a lot of these over the years. Over to the right side, this is Wind Talkers, starring Nicolas Cage and Adam Beach, and this whole valley was used for the huge scene for the Battle of Saipan. So the director John Woo wanted to use over 1,000 live exposures for this war scene, and he had over 750 extras dressed up as war soldiers out here. So this movie still holds the record to be, or of being the largest production we've ever hosted here on the ranch, even up until today. So definitely major production films here. Now, Triple Frontier is the next production we're going to talk about. So you'll see some of the main cast members on the sign over there. But we're going to drive up closer to the movie set in front of us. So some of the main cast members of the movie would have included Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal, and Garrett. A lot of my females like to say, the movie's full of eye candy because you don't watch it for the action, watch it for the eye candy. But anyways, those guys, they're the main cast. They're extra special forces. Movie go to South America to steal money from the drug dealers there. They steal millions of dollars from this guy and they strap him to a helicopter to get themselves out of the country. And the helicopter can't handle the weight, so it ends up crash landing in a cocoa field right below a village. This hillside to our left, the grassy hill, they turned it into the cocoa field, and these shacks are remnants of the village they built here in this area. Now, some village people were working in the cocoa field, and they realized something's wrong. We're gonna go check on these guys. And they go check on them. At first, asking how there's a dispute that ends up turning into a very tragic event, and some of the people in the village get shot fatally. So they have to do some negotiating with the leader of the village in this little shack here, and he accepts their apology, their negotiation. They offer some money. He accepts the money and sends them on their way with some mules, so they have a new means of transportation because their helicopter was pretty much toast at that point. So over to the right, you guys will get a little clearer shot or a little snapshot of what the village looked like in the movies from that scene. And you can see the mountains in the backdrop were edited, so they tried to create like the Andes mountains. You also may notice there was no paved road. So the paved road, we created this probably within the past year and a half or so. So we can bring our guests up here. As you can see, the view is absolutely gorgeous. It's really nice place for us here. So we just gotta enjoy the scenery, bring our guests up here. But we could also get you a bit closer to some of those movie sets. Now you may have noticed by now we don't have very many movie sets, and there's a few different reasons for that. One of them being that we are a private nature reserve, so we do want to focus on maintaining the natural beauty of the property in this kind of area. If we have too many movie sets, it would kind of look messy and it would look a little trashed out here, just because there's so many different productions that actually work here. Not even just the ones we're talking about. There's so many other ones to go to. Plus, we know that in the future there are going to be other productions that will film with us, so we want to leave them a blank canvas to work with. So what that means, of course, is that when they come out here, it's better for us to not have too many movie sets, so it's easier for the productions to envision what scenes they want to film in which parts of the property. So really just kind of helps out. Now, we'll talk about one more film location, then we're going to go on a little bit of a scenic drive and just kind of relax for a bit. This is another one for Lost over here to the left. So this is towards the beginning of the series when they first crash land on the island. Some of the main cast members go out to look for the black box from the airplane. And as you guys can see, we have the mountains over here to the left as the backdrop of that. But this will be our last film location before we work our way over to our second and final stop of the tour, which is going to be the Boneyard from Skull Island. But for now, I'm going to give you guys a little break from our narration, give you some time to sit back, relax, enjoy the scenery, and some of the nice music I have for you as well as we drive along to this last stop of the tour. And then we'll pick up our narration in just a few minutes down the road. I'll prep you guys for that next stop, let you know what we're going to do, what we're going to see, what to expect. So other than that, just sit back and enjoy yourselves, and we'll talk shortly, just a few short minutes right now. Alright guys, we're just a few minutes away from our next stop, so we're gonna be cruising for a little bit more. We got one favorite cruising for the rest of the right? And to the left as well. Now we're gonna be clear of the tree line, so you'll be able to see straight across to the left the road that we just took that's over there, and then I can turn around as well, and then straight out to the boat. This is another great little portion of our tour. Back to back. How about there? To see some of our cattle, by the way, we've been hanging out this past really cool. One of our mamas is off of the right side. So we do have a lot of our babies in general areas with their mamas. So you can see some of the regular sized cows and a bit shorter or tiny ones. This is part of our herd. We have roughly about 500 head of cattle at any given time. So this is just a small part of the herd. There's one out on the road. Well, we raise pure black Indian, pure red Indian, and a combination of those. Black Indian, pure red Indian, kind of brown cows, and some of the white cows. Now we're coming up to our stop shortly. I'll give you guys a little rundown on what we expect over there. But before we get there, you're going to see one of our cultural sites over here to the right side. We have a few of these cultural sites that show the replicas of what certain ancient structures would have looked like, or like what things look like back in the day here in Hawaii. So we have some structures of different types of houses or shelters that would have been built in Hawaii. So first off, we have this A-frame shaped house here, which would have been typical to store canoes. So like a single hulled canoe. So just think of it like a garage for your canoe, pretty much. Then the second one here would have been typical houses built for royalty with the rock wall around the bottom half to provide further reinforcements and protection. And then the last two would have been typical for the design for some of the like commoners of the village. Now these are just replica houses. We got lucky to use more modern materials, so luckily our cows don't eat the grass houses anymore. Grass, they used to eat them before, but now we have like a plastic that unit that leaves kind of looks to it. It's really nice, but it's a great way for us to learn and live through our history and our past and island. So right around the corner, you're gonna see this next stop that we have. This is the boneyard on Full Island. So this is where we're gonna be getting off, and I'll be able to let you guys walk around, and we'll be here for about 15 minutes. Now, one of the main rules that we have here is please do not sit, please do not climb on or walk on any of the props here. So no sitting, no standing, no climbing, walking, things like that. Just don't go on top of them whatsoever, okay? A lot of them are made out of styrofoam, so you have to try to preserve them as much as possible. You want to make sure that they do not break. We've had them for about 10 years. So please be mindful, please be respectful of those too, but just don't go on top of any of the gold tops, okay? Please don't pick them up either. You can touch them, see how they're made, but we just want to minimize how much handling there is done on the props.
Короче, приехали на место, где снимали вот этот фильм Кинг-Конг. Сейчас я вам покажу. Это место съемки. И типа здесь остались эти кости Кинг-Конга. выглядит прикольно. Но сказали это не трогать, потому что это пластик или что-то типа. Короче, хрупкое, что развалится. А это что? Какашки, что ли? От Кинг-Конга остались. А, нет, это камни. Башка Кинг-Конга.
Look it, we saw King Kong for real.
И сам Кинг-Конг. В мини-версии. Ну, прикольно все выглядит. Но виды здесь, конечно, просто бомбические. Интересно. Ну, очень нравится здесь, как все, как сказать, если ты видел фильм и в этом месте находишься, блин, прям прикольно, аж волосы дыбом встали на руках, когда это все вспоминаешь. Красиво все, все как-то реалистично так. Но вообще само место такое классное. Прикольно это все видеть своими глазами.
I haven't done too much research on it, but I think that's kind of affecting our warm weather conditions. So, it'll be pretty still, very little breeze late for the next week or so, I believe. But as we're driving further, it'll start to cool down a bit more. But just wanted to slow down and stop by our two lovely ladies over here. These are actually our only two Texas Longhorns that we have here on the property. So we have mother and daughter duo, by the way. The mama is a bigger one, black and white color. And our smaller baby girl is brown and white in color. Our mother is named Malia and the daughter is Halona. We've had those two for about 2 years now. So they're kind of like more so our pets. You notice none of the other cattle have those longhorns like that yet. And the Texas I'll stay out of here. We're going to talk a little bit about some coming up. It is on our website for the movie George right there. Starting in this movie, and you can see George and Ursula riding along on this elephant, which was known as Shep in the movie. Shep was this like puppy dog kind of elephant. So they did a lot of CGI scenes with him, or CGI scenes to create him, but they also did a lot of would have done a lot of like shots of the actual elephant. We brought that elephant in from Honolulu, and they were able to use it for 4 days shots of the elephant. So and that was kind of common back then. That elephant, alongside many other large animals, ranch property during the 90s and early 2000s. Because this was it was kind of a trend to Pu'uloa Ranch in places like Africa or places that had other exotic animals. So back then, it was very common to have animals in the ranch, but these days, it's not so much. There's a lot more CGI that's being used currently. So we have this movie here that used a lot of CGI, Journey to the Mysterious Island, which is a sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth. This is starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Josh Hutcherson, and Vanessa Hudgens. And they did a lot more filming out in that field over there where you see like the UTVs out there parked. But whatever they ended up filming here, although they left us the movie props so that we could keep them, have them on display, they didn't actually tell us that that scene never made it to the movie. So it ended up being a deleted scene or director's cut. So we ended up having a lot of research to figure out what scenes in the movie ended up making it to, or what scenes that were filmed on the property ended up making it to the movie. And that's one great example that we have to pretty much do our research for every movie that's filmed here to know how to add some of these film locations to our tours and to our narrations. Now here to our left, we'll see the last sign that we're going to talk about, or the last movie that we'll talk about, known as Finding Ohana. Now the sign is over here, but the film location is a little further up ahead. There's a road that's coming up on our left. Not this one that leads down to the little pond, but this one here that leads out to the ocean. Now in the movie, there's a little girl named Peavy. She actually sneaks into the property through a gate that's at the end of this road here. Peavy and her friends sneak onto the property through up into the mountain, go to the cage so they can get some treasure hunt. Now this movie is very heavily inspired by the movie. So if you watch the movie and you like the movie, you probably will love the movie Finding Ohana as well. Because it's very heavily inspired by the movie and it has a very simple storyline. But Peavy and her friends, alongside her brother, they sneak onto the property, and look for treasure. Peavy wants to use that treasure to save her grandma's property from being sold. So that's part of the reason, or one of the main reasons why she sneaks onto the ranch. So this movie is really special and it's actually very unique to Pu'uloa itself because this is the only movie that mentions Pu'uloa Ranch by name. None of the other movies actually mention the ranch by name. So very, very special. So check it out if you guys get a chance. This is Finding Ohana on Netflix. I'm going to go ahead and go slow through here. We just got to watch the traffic. So give me one. Onward, let's go. Oh, bye. That's my bestie back here. So, as you can tell, we have lots of fun with our job over here. So we just have fun with you guys and make sure you guys are having a good time as well too, yeah? Alright, we're gonna wait for some of these trucks to pass us by, but that movie site, or that last movie that we talked about, that is the last movie that we're gonna go over. Making our way back down into Kokola Valley. So we're going to cover all of our film locations for today. Now if you take a look straight ahead, you're going to notice that we have, I do want to tell you a little story about this island that you see out here. There's a legend that I want to share with you guys as well too. So that island that looks like a big beach hat floating in the water, very commonly you'll hear it referred to as Chinaman's hat. And I've noticed in recent years some of our guests are a little unsure. Can I say that? Can I use that term? And it was actually never really meant to be anything negative or has no negative intention or anything like that at all. In fact, this is a little glimpse into our history and our story here. I don't know why it's no spot. During the 1800s, that was the Spanish era. At that time, there were a lot of people coming from all countries around the world to work pineapple, so there were people coming from countries and there were farmers coming in. I know, very similar to the shape of the island itself. The island has the same but it's interesting because, this artist, there are give you a little insight into how that all started. A lot of that is about the great. But the Hawaiian name for this island is known as Koko. That translates into the word or into the meaning little lizard. So the word Koko or Mo'o means lizard, and the word lizard means little or small. And it refers to a little lizard-like, it refers to a legend that talks about a lizard-like creature. This lizard-like creature was a shape-shifting and she was designated by the gods to the guardian of this part of the island. She took her job very seriously, so she didn't want to let just any old person pass through this part of the island. She was protecting secret spaces. So one day she encounters a goddess. This goddess is named Hi'iaka Ikapolio Pele. And Hi'iaka is traveling throughout the Hawaiian Islands, eventually to get to the island of Kauai. And when she travels through Oahu, she tries to pass through this part of the island, but this lizard or mo'o doesn't want to let her pass through. So they ended up in a battle that lasted for about 3 days, and eventually Hi'iaka defeated this lizard, and when she did, she took its body, tore it apart to pieces, and tossed it all about the landscape. So she took its head and its body and tossed it up onto the island. So the mountains that you see above us, to the right of the truck, are supposed to resemble the head and the body of the lizard. And then she took its tail, tossed it out to the ocean, and the very tip of its tail is the island that's sticking out today, which is known as Oahu, which translates into little lizard. So this once flighty creature became little after the goddess Hi'iaka defeated her. And then, of course, the mountains up above us are called Kualoa, which translates long back. The earth is the long back of the lizard. So this legend alone is one of the most well-known legends of this side of the island, and it also gives you a little insight into the placement of this part of the island as well. And that's one of many legends that are tied to Kualoa, or this area, I should say, and this part of Oahu. In fact, there's another legend that's coming up on the right side of us. You'll see a little sign, a little plaque here that talks about the legend of the demigod Kamakua, who was a shapeshifter. He can shift himself from a handsome man to a wild boar to the tree, the kukuina tree, to the humuhumu Kamakua. And so we put that legend or that plaque there to kind of highlight that story about Kamakua, but also right next to our big or we caught a little glimpse of some of our native, not really native, but our wild pigs that we have up here that have been here for quite some time. Kind of like a hybrid of some of the domesticated pigs that were first brought to the Hawaiian Islands and other pigs here. So they have been here in the islands for a very, very long time, but not they're definitely. Now those pigs will be individually found up in our mountains area, and created some pig enclosures. I'll show you guys what some of our wild animals look like, but also motivate pigs. We caught a bunch of them off the property and enclosure. I would feed them fresh food, have them water every day, try to motivate them to be in one spot, because it can sometimes have a negative impact on our native plant life, because they're digging around for food in the soil and then they're up for and you don't do that. So we have to motivate them to be in one spot. But don't leave the secret. They are still wild animals, so they figure out how to get out of the enclosure, but for the most part, can't very good. But the reason why it's important to us to protect our native plant life is because we are a nature reserve, but we're a private global around the country. And the mortgages are roughly about 6 direct descendants of Dr. Beard, but certain people love chocolate. So we bought it in like so over the years, we've actually able to survive his family passed down throughout the generations. So today, his descendants are the owners of the property. And over the years, his descendants throughout the generations will pretty much have the same goal in mind, to protect our future. that we can do. And being that we're a private nature reserve, we don't get money or funding from government. So all of it comes from our own operations. Now move it towards. So you guys, as our guests, are actually like very capable of using credit cards with a lot of the money we make from towards our family. So before we part ways, before you guys head out, I do want to extend you a big mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much for coming out today, for supporting us here at the ranch, you know, checking out what we have here. Because it is all thanks to you, our visitors, our ohana, that we're able to do what we do out here. We're very grateful for that, and we're grateful for you all coming out. And I really hope that you had a beautiful day, that you enjoyed yourselves, and you had a great time. You got great photos as well too, and you're able to learn something special or learn something new today. And before you guys head out, please make sure you check all around your seats and check by your feet to make sure you don't forget anything important or leave anything behind along the way. Sometimes things fall down in the area and you might not see it, so I want to make sure you grab all your belongings and take it with you. Also, if you happen to want to look at the photos that we're taking for this tour, there'll be a little photo right outside the entrance of the visitor center, kind of around the road. So if you're walking into the gift shop from the direction where I drop you off, there's a table right outside. You can check out the photos, and they're optional instructions if you would like. Also, if you happen to have any content back to share with us, whether there's anything you loved about the tour, or if you thought of any ways to give content and our guests in the future, we'd love to hear what you have to share. So, with that being said, once you step off the back of the truck, there's a sticker on the right side of the stairs that has a QR code, and you can scan that sticker, and it'll leave you, or it'll take you to a page where you guys can leave us a little bit of feedback or a review if you have some time. And otherwise, if you guys are saying that you guys are sharing that you had a great time with us, and you mentioned your tour guide by name, we get brownie points. So again, my name was Lilo, or Lilo. It was a pleasure taking care of you guys on the tour today, and I do want to send you all off to the Hawaiian saying that we have here in the island, which are the words Oahu, and that means enjoy me again. And of course, let's wrap up our tour this
Приехали тут на какие-то водопады, не знаю, посмотрим, что будет. Пока вам покажу дорожку, по которой идем, какая тут красота, как все выглядит, какие тут джунгли. Джунгли меня зовут. Да.
I used to talk a lot.
Дерево большое. Как все выглядит, офигеть. Я не знаю, тут наверное, не передает камера, наверное, этот вид, как это все выглядит офигенно. Вообще у меня аж прям волосы на руках стали. Как же это классно, красиво. Вообще. Такие вот видончики. Все такое. Горы эти открываются перед глазами, вообще так смотрится классно. Все, заходим в контейнер. Запах тут какой свежести. Внизу какой-то там ручеечек бежит. Журчит, не знаю, слышно, не слышно.
So cute. There's a little black and white. It looks like a
Все. Джунгли меня зовут. Пахнет вкусно, а? Прям классно. Вау, такой видончик. Вот такой вот водопадик. Ну как водопадик? Ручеек со склона. Короче, приколюха такая. Кусты такие, да? Оба. Один спрятанный. Другой. Вот сидят вот так вот толпой и молчат. Один проснулся. А так не видно. Приехали еще на одно прикольненькое место, сейчас я вам покажу.
Письма.
Что за пещера? Так, что же, будет она снимать здесь? Нет. Что за пещера?
Тут света нету. Леш, включай фонарик. Что же? Все сужается. Все ниже и ниже. Ничего не видно. Дай фонарик. Что ж, пролезем, не пролезем. А! Зацепил. Тут совсем мало места. Не пролезем. Только ползком. Но ползком не готов.
Прикиньте, быстрый прилив, и вдруг вода начинает стремительно подниматься. Вход, который еще минуту назад был свободным, полностью затопляется. Пещера превращается в ловушку.
Ура! Мы вышли.
Сейчас я вам еще покажу прикольненькое местечко. Начнем вот отсюда. Вот на эту гору я хочу завтра забраться. Ну или хотя бы попытаться. Но это не точно. И вот такой вот видончик. В общем, приехали мы на подножье или к подножью горы, на которую раньше поднимали провизию по рельсам на самый верх. Вот мы сейчас будем подниматься пешочком на самый верх, потому что это там как была железная дорога, сейчас она не действующая, и все поднимаются пешочком, чтобы забраться на вершину этой горы и посмотреть на вид с гор на город. Такие подъемы.
What did he say?
It's a cool side of you, Reyes. I like this. Usually I see you at the pool.
At the gym.
И вот так вот всего лишь маленечко на самый верх.
Bell's father, Maurice. We don't have time.
Короче, вот столько прошел. И пока уже есть вид. Да, на дыхалочку тут, конечно, надо иметь хорошую. Показать вам, как я выгляжу, какой мокрый. Ну ничего, еще маленечко осталось. Ну да, чуть-чуть покруче здесь будет. Ну ничего. Если видео выйдет, значит я дошел до верха и спустился обратно. Если не выйдет видео, значит я не спустился. Ну, в смысле, или не поднялся. Погиб где-то посерединке. Ждите включения на самом верху. Возможно, оно будет. Но это не точно. Ну что, осталось совсем маленько. Вот столько мы прошли. И осталось чуть-чуть. И эти шаги я сделаю с вами. Все, мы победили. Вот так. Сейчас я отдышусь и покажу вам, что здесь вокруг есть. Ну что, отдышался. Вроде более-менее. Давайте покажу, что еще здесь. Так, сюда мы зашли. Здесь типа смотровая площадочка. Вот с таким видончиком. Внизу там ничего нету. Нифига, еще лестница. Что-то я на это не рассчитывал. Еще бросок. Хожу в зал, но дыхалка тут все равно не увозит. Такие домички. Да. Еще один. Тут еще одна смотровая площадочка. Сейчас. До самого верха поднимемся, что там.
God, they put out left tackles. Right, Clady, and yeah. Like they put out line. It's like a back. The Prince offensive line.
Ну что, я сделал это. Я поднялся на самую вершину этой горы. Это нелегко, скажу вам честно. Это заняло сейчас, кстати, сколько времени? Ну, почти час я сюда поднимался. Было много остановок. Иногда даже, когда вот почти уже в конце, где крутой подъем, ступенек 50 проходишь, и все, и башка аж кружится. Приходилось останавливаться, отдыхать по 5-10 минут, чтобы отпустило. Я это сделал. Теперь будем спускаться. Я надеюсь, что это не так тяжело будет. Но спуски здесь крутые. Не знаю, камера это передаст, не передаст. Стою ровно. И все туда вниз. Вау, уходит. Да, тут главное не промахнуться.
Yeah, I listen to Jackass. You guys come along, but here you go, and it's like, dude, you know what I mean? It's just so unfair. Like, like I'd rather not deal with this bullshit because it's like we're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, Matt, if you come and do that, so this is like the nice guy. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yep. When it comes down to shit, we're like,
И вот такой спуск.
yeah, that's more fit.
Это да. Вот такой крутой подъем. Прям крутой. Еще и он накуренный, ё-моё. Накуренный, это вообще тяжеляк. Там у него, наверное, давка сейчас скачет. Тут вообще круто. Прям, если сесть на жопу, мне кажется, скатишься кубарем. Все осталось маленечко. Короче, приехали на плантацию Доли. Здесь выращивают ананасы. Так, где вам показать-то? Короче, вот так они растут. Сейчас найду где-нибудь ананас. Или он нас, или мы его. Это видел я. Сейчас я покажу. Я видел. Видел. Что это? Я их прошел, что ли? Короче, пока ходили, все их собрали уже. Ну ё-моё. А, вот маленькие остались. Что, один, что ли? Блин, один остался.
Подходи, налетай на нас и покупай.
Вот взяли на пробу вот такие мороженки с ананасами. Мороженое из ананаса с ананасами. Ну и такую канитель. Попробуем и расскажем. Короче, вот на вот этой вот плантации Долли. А так это все выглядит. Так. Ну и что я вам хочу сказать про мороженое. Попробовали мы. Ах, бывает мороженое и вкуснее. Ну, с кусочками ананасов мы съели кусочки ананасов. Попробовали мороженое и выбросили его. Так что побывать здесь и попробовать ананасы в мороженом, да.